verse. She says every verse yet to take place. Then adds, read also the scenes portrayed in the 18th chapter of the same book. Now, what's the main point for our purposes today? The main point for us is to just tie the two witnesses of Revelation 11 to our subject. The loud cry of the fourth angel in Revelation 18, who lightens the earth with his glory. Now, you might wonder, what right does she have to do this? Has she not previously applied Revelation 11 to the French Revolution in such books as Great Controversy? French Revolution took place over 200 years ago, and yes, she did. But she also said those things of history and prophecy will be repeated, and we should study every verse, and maybe we just might find out how. So, what are the Laodiceans' needs? Number one, gold tried in the fire, which is true faith and genuine love. At least one way that's demonstrated is in dress reform. What we see of gold is only dross to the soul. And then there's white raiment, which is purity of character, the overcomers, the ones that really don't want to play with sin anymore. And the eye salve, so that we can see the light of the fourth angel in Revelation 18, for example. Now, light represents knowledge. And here Christ knock, knock, knock at the door, trying to get in to bring us more. Well, friends, we were given great advantage in the beginning of our faith with the original pillars, an understanding of prophecy in Daniel 7, Revelation 13, and so on, and our standards. But there has been more promised. Notice, to begin with, we must discover what added light or knowledge and the latter rain have in common. So we're going to turn to the Scriptures. And later we'll see Ellen White's confirmation of what we read. We're starting out in Zechariah 10:1, where it says, ask of the Lord rain in the time of the latter rain. So the Lord shall make bright clouds and give them showers of rain to every one grass in the field. Well, friends, is this the only time the Bible talks of the latter rain? No. Is this the only time that God compares people to grass? No. Let's look at Isaiah 40, verse 6 and 7 to get the concept of people being grass. Quote, the voice said, cry, and he said, what shall I cry? All flesh is grass, and all the goodness thereof is as the flower of the field. The grass withereth, the flower fadeth, because the Spirit of the Lord bloweth upon it. Surely the people is grass. So what I want you to do is to picture all the grass in the world and consider yourself just but one blade. But friends, he notices each and every blade, and he wants to give you, as the blade, something very special in the time of the end. In Deuteronomy 32, verse 2, the Scripture records, my doctrine shall drop as the rain, my speech shall distill as the dew, as the small rain upon the tender herb, and as the showers upon the grass. So in this text, doctrine is part of the rain. But you might ask, don't we already have all the light on the doctrines? Why would doctrine be a part of the latter rain? Are not the pillars of our faith sufficient to carry us all the way through without adding a roof? Are we not enriched with goods and have need of nothing? And you might ask, well, what does Ellen White say about all that? Notice 5T 708, fifth volume of the Testimony, 708. Quote, when God's people are at our ease and satisfied with their present enlightenment, we may be sure that he will not favor them. So the question is, will you be favored or unfavored? Those who are favored are destined to receive more light. The unfavored are stuck in a rut. Thus far shall they go, and no further. Someone might ask, how do these statements compare with Ellen White's statement, her negative statements against new light? And there are a few. But each time I've read them, it seems like she is condemning new light that replaces old light. In other words, it's called replacement theology. replacing some of our old pillars with something else. For example, in manuscript 760, page 16, she says, quote, "It's too late in this earth's history to get up something new," end of quote. But in the above case, she's writing of Ballinger's teachings that would have replaced our sanctuary doctrine. In fact, the subject of her chapter is entitled, "The Integrity of the Sanctuary Truth." But otherwise, other than replacement theology, her statements are very clear. Now notice another one, for example, from Gospel Workers, page 310. Quote, "We must not for a moment think there is no more light, no more truth to be given us." When did she write this? The last year of her life on this earth, 1915, the year of her death. We must not for a moment think there is no more light, no more truth to be given us. We are in danger of becoming careless by our indifference, losing the sanctifying power of truth, and composing ourselves with the thought, "I am rich, increased with good, and have need of nothing." Friends, that's amazing. She's telling us that more light, more truth is what the Laodicean church is rejecting. She continues, "While we must hold fast to the truths which we have already received, we must not look with suspicion upon any new light that God may send." Friends, every doctrine we have today was established by the time she made those remarks. In fact, the Great Controversy had its final edition out in 1911. In the year of her death, she wrote that by thinking there is no more light, no more truth for us, that we might lose our sanctification. If you understand sanctification, it's a work of a lifetime, and once that stops, we're in trouble. So what does this tell the group that says, Ellen White, if Ellen White didn't want it, neither do I? By her own words, friends, such a group is simply all wet. Notice Counsel to Writers and Editors, page 29. Notice, please. "Although we have in trust the grandest and most important truth ever presented to the world, we are only babes as far as understanding truth in all its bearings is concerned." Now, what does she say about our truths? Oh, they're the grandest and most important in all the world. But she also says they're only enough to satisfy babes. Now, let me ask you a question. Will baby food carry you through the time of trouble? Will baby food carry you clear through the time of the end? Do you know why many people leave the message, leave the truth? Simply because they're bored. They're tired of baby food. They're bored with milk when meat is needed. Not only that, but growing children get fussy if they don't start getting some solid food. Notice from First Selected Messages, page 401. The question that has been asked me, do you think that the Lord has any more light for us as a people? I answer that He has light that's new to us, and yet it is precious old light that is to shine forth from the word of truth. We have only the glimmerings of the rays of light that is yet to come to us. The church didn't have it in her day. It's nice to see a diamond shine in the window of a jewelry shop, but what value would it be to go into the shopkeeper and say, "I'd like to buy the glimmerings"? Well, let's look at some facts from this last statement, shall we? Number one, she did not know what the new light would be. It was yet to come. Number two, it will be entirely new to us. It simply won't be a rehash of what we already know. Number three, it's precious old biblical light yet to shine forth. We're going to find it in Scripture. And number four, we only have the glimmerings.